In the waning days of the Second Boer War in 1902, amidst the harsh South African landscape, British aristocrat Orlando, the Duke of Oxford, accompanies his devoted wife Emily and their young son Conrad on a humanitarian mission for the British Red Cross, visiting a concentration camp teeming with despair. Tragedy strikes without warning. A sniper's bullet fells Emily, leaving her mortally wounded in Orlando's arms. With her final breath, she extracts a solemn vow from him to shield their son from the horrors of war forever, a promise that will shape the destiny of nations. 12 years hence, in the opulent halls of their English estate, Orlando has transformed his grief into a clandestine force for good, assembling a private espionage network with his loyal butler Shola and the astute maid Polly Watkins, leveraging connections among the world's elite. Young Conrad, now a fervent patriot brimming with youthful idealism, yearns to enlist in the British Army as tensions simmer across Europe. But Orlando, haunted by his oath, staunchly forbids it, even enlisting the aid of Lord Kitchener, the Secretary of State for War, to bar his son's path to the battlefield. At Kitchener's behest, Orlando and Conrad join Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife Sophie on a fateful carriage ride through the bustling streets of Sarajevo, a journey fraught with unseen peril. Conrad's quick reflexes thwart an initial assassination attempt as he deflects a bomb hurled by the shadowy revolutionary Gavrilo Princip. But fate intervenes cruelly when Princip, by sheer chance, encounters the entourage again and unleashes fatal gunfire, igniting the spark that engulfs the world in the flames of World War I. As the guns of August thunder, Orlando uncovers a sinister cabal known as the Flock, a consortium of malevolent operatives orchestrated by the enigmatic Shepherd, whose insidious agenda seeks to pit the empires of Germany, Russia, and Britain against one another in a cataclysmic bloodbath, all in pursuit of Scottish independence, a revelation that propels Orlando deeper into the shadows of intrigue. In the frozen courts of Imperial Russia, the mystic Grigory Rasputin, a trusted confidant to Tsar Nicholas, weaves his dark sorcery by poisoning the hemophiliac heir Alexei, only to miraculously cure him in exchange for Russia's withdrawal from the burgeoning conflict, a manipulation that threatens to unravel the fragile Allied front and expose the Western trenches to utter devastation. Desperate to counter this treachery, Conrad relays the dire intelligence to Lord Kitchener and his aide-de-camp, Major Max Morton, who embark on a perilous voyage aboard the HMS Hampshire, bound for Russia, only for the ship to fall victim to a ruthless submarine torpedo, claiming Kitchener's life and plunging Orlando into renewed anguish as whispers of conspiracy echo through the corridors of power. Galvanized by loss, Orlando, alongside Shola, Polly, and the defiant Conrad, ventures into the heart of Russia to confront Rasputin at a lavish Christmas soiree hosted by Prince Felix Yusupov, where a brutal, visceral clash ensues. Poisoned cakes, savage brawls, and relentless determination culminating in the Mad Monk's demise beneath the icy waters. A victory hard won, but fleeting in the grand tapestry of war. Across the Atlantic, Erich Jan Hanussen, advisor to Kaiser Wilhelm II, dispatches the infamous Zimmermann telegram, a coded missive urging Mexico to assail the United States and keep America sidelined from the fray. Though British spies intercept it, Polly's brilliant decryption fails to sway President Woodrow Wilson, who demands irrefutable proof amid the fog of neutrality. In a bold stroke of revolution, the Shepherd recruits the firebrand Vladimir Lenin to topple the Tsar, orchestrating the brutal execution of the Romanov family and sealing Russia's exit from the war, a seismic shift that leaves millions of soldiers exposed and the balance of power teetering on the brink. Defying his father's protective edict, Conrad secures a commission in the Grenadier Guards, only to be reassigned to the safety of London by King George V's intervention. Undeterred, he swaps identities with the Scottish soldier Archie Reed, adopting the poignant codename Lancelot as a subtle rebuke to Orlando, plunging headlong into the mud-choked hell of the front lines. Masquerading as Archie in the Black Watch Regiment, Conrad volunteers for a harrowing foray into no man's land, braving barbed wire and artillery to retrieve vital intelligence from a fallen British agent. Though he succeeds, a paranoid comrade mistakes him for a German infiltrator and delivers a fatal shot, shattering Orlando's world and transforming his vow into a crucible of unyielding resolve. Armed with Conrad's recovered evidence, authenticating the Zimmermann telegram, Orlando presses Wilson once more, but the president's reluctance stems from blackmail, seductive footage captured by the Shepherd's alluring agent, Mata Hari. In a daring gambit at the American embassy, Orlando vanquishes her, seizing a clue in her cashmere scarf that traces back to the villain's lair. Parachuting into the treacherous mountaintop fortress of the Shepherd, Orlando unveils the betrayer as none other than Major Max Morton, who orchestrated Kitchener's doom and feigned his own demise. In a ferocious duel aided by Shola's unwavering loyalty, Orlando slays the fiend, while Polly secures the incriminating film, delivering it to Wilson, who incinerates the evidence and finally commits America to the Allied cause, tipping the scales toward victory. With the armistice's fragile peace descending upon a scarred Europe, Orlando acquires a bespoke tailor shop on Savile Row as a covert facade for his nascent organization, christening it Kingsman, gathering Shola, Polly, King George V, Archie Reed, and the U.S. ambassador. He assigns each an Arthurian codename in eternal homage to Conrad's sacrifice, forging a legacy of gentlemen spies sworn to safeguard the world from the abyss.